Good morning, Side Fam. How are you guys today? Well, I'm going to explain the word imminent. In the Webster's dictionary, they have the definition of happening very soon. And so, I know you guys are probably guessing, okay, what is she going to talk about? Go ahead and guess. Of course, I'm talking about the rapture. You know what? The reason why I pick this is because number one, it hasn't happened yet. Number two, it's a futuristic event. Number three, the word imminent actually means in a minute. That means Jesus can come in a minute. I can't just sit here and not say something to somebody about Jesus Christ. I just can't. I'm telling you. And you know what? Do you guys know about the bathrooms that are now being... I know! These things come to my mind because I'm telling you, the world is getting ridiculous. I mean, it's beyond ridiculous. It's straight up ludicrous. When you see what they're doing, they're putting bathrooms. That means that if some girls or women's are using the bathroom and a male, gender confused male person feels that he's a female, he's allowed to use the women's bathroom. You know what? I know. Just calm down. But you know what? I saw this. My daughter goes to a university, and I've signed up on my Facebook page to get, I don't know, updates and what's going on, just so I can spiritually be connected to her, even though she doesn't want anything to do with me. And that's where I heard about the bathroom. And then Target. I know I really do need to calm down, but that's what happens to me. When I see everything going on in the world, it's like, you know what? I'm telling you, Jesus is coming quicker. There's no way. There's just no way are we supposed to just sit down here and, godly people and just sit down here in this mess, which, I love the world and I know it was beautiful at one time, but it's clearly a cesspool. People don't even put their trash in the proper trash bin. They just throw it out the window. Go to the beach. You would think that they would pick up everything. No, just leave the trash on the beach. People are just, I know, just calm down. But you know what? It's hard. It's hard knowing what's going on. And it's hard to just sit here and just be quiet. I just can't be quiet. Not when Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, is going to come very, 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 very soon. And I wanted to also mention that man just totally does not fully appreciate the true explanation of the events of the wrath until the severe phenomena of the sixth seal, the massive earthquakes. And you know what? There was another thing that I wanted to read to you guys. And that was how the church word is used only 19 times through Revelation 3, and that the church word in futuristic times, meaning Revelation 4 to 19, 0 times. The church isn't here. The church is not here. Are you a believer? Then you're the church. We are not going to be here. Hallelujah! Can I just hear you guys say it with me? Come on. Hallelujah! Oh my gosh! I just, number one, I love Jesus. Jesus is God. And you know what? When you understand that, the Bible has mysteries. But when you're a child of the Most High God, when you accept the free gift of salvation, when you know that Jesus Christ is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I'm sorry, but he's more than a prophet. Get off it. I'm tired of people saying, oh, he was just a nice guy. Really? A nice guy? I know a lot of nice guys, but those nice guys didn't have the power to pick up a man's ear off of the ground, stick it back on the side of his head, say a prayer, take his hand away, and the guy's ear is back on his face. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of nice guys. They weren't capable to pick up the mud, the dirt that we're made of, put a little of the saliva from Jesus Christ in the mud, the dirt, and he puts it over the blind man's eyes. Don't you understand? We are made from this earth. We're not only made from this earth, excuse me, we're made by God. We are made, handmade. And you know what? I gotta grab my water right here. Wait. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I caught a cold last night. I woke up this morning and I sounded real froggy. But you know what? I'm not going to let anything stop me from making my videos to encourage others and to let people know that Jesus is coming. Before I end this video, it's going to be a short one. I want you guys to go in your Bible and read in Matthew where there's two farmers in the field. One of them's taken and the other one's left. There's going to be two women grinding at the mill. One of them's going to be taken and the other one's going to be left. What I'm trying to tell you is the rapture is going to happen very, very soon. I can feel it. I'm telling you guys, I can feel it's our generation. And I feel like whenever I get excited, you know, I just blow it because my train of thought. But you know what I wanted to tell you guys? Is about 6 or 7 months ago when I was in the backyard. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And I was just like so happy, and I was talking to the Lord like I always do. And it was that ominous feeling again where something horrible happens, but you don't know what it is. And I remember I was looking up at the sky right out here by my gate. And I remember in the clouds I saw a bunch of like skulls. It was like about, I'm not joking, there must have been about 30 to 40 skulls, just dark eyes. The clouds looked like, I looked up and I went, oh my gosh, what does that mean? And then I got a sick feeling in my stomach. And I was just praying and I said, God, you know, please wake up the non-believers and please help us to get ready. And please help the church to be ready. When that moment comes, everything's different. Our world is not what we know. It's going to be so, I know, I just can't wait. I can't wait. When I saw the skulls in the clouds and I was praying, I was just like praying. I can't remember if I was praying in tongues, but I was crying and I was praying. And mostly what it was I had a heavy, heavy heart for the people that make fun of the Christians, because they're going to find out the hard way. It's going to be so sad to be here and realize that something happened worldwide. And I hear that the Vatican's going to say that it was the aliens. And I don't want to sound like I'm a crazy person over here. But when you read Matthew and it talks about people being taken away, and when you know in Thessalonians the twinkling of an eye, and when you see everything going on in the world, I mean, I can't believe people still won't accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. It's really terrifying to me. A lady at church told me that she wrote a letter to some family members that aren't saved. She wrote Bible verses down for them. She said, I told you it was going to happen and you didn't want to believe, and you kept making fun of me, and you wouldn't give your life to Jesus, and you kept thinking that this was a joke and that we're all crazy. And I know they've been saying it for years. I know they've been saying Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon. And I know it gets worn out. And I know when it doesn't happen the next day, people give up. But you know what? There's this word called perseverance. That means you wake up and you praise His holy name whether you want to or not. When you know that Jesus Christ is your blessed hope, your only hope. See, I lost everything in my life. Everything material. I lost all my material things. I lost a couple kids. I had to, when I was at my rock bottom, I didn't even know I was at rock bottom because I was underneath a rock. I didn't even know. I just knew I was someplace, and I didn't, I just didn't know how I was going to get out of that mess. And when you get lost in the world and you go along with the world and you do what the rest of the world's doing, it's almost like you're on this little rowboat, and somebody comes and they untie the rope from the dock, and the next thing you know, you're not even, you're just so preoccupied, you don't know how far you've drifted away. Well, that's where I was. I had drifted away. I pushed everybody away. I didn't want anybody telling me anything. I was stubborn. I was hard-headed. I was going to live my life the way I wanted to live it. I made a huge mess of my life. I didn't even know how I was going to pick up the pieces to put my life back together. It wasn't until I cried out to Jesus. And when I tell you I cried, I did more than cry. I must have cried me a river. If I could put all my tears, it would be the Digson River. Yep, all my tears would be in that river over all the things that I had done wrong. But I'm telling you, my anchor during those dark times where I didn't know how I was going to get out of the mess I was in, It was always Jesus. And I tell you this because it's the absolute truth. And if you think you're going through hard things now, there's some really hard things coming. And the reason I'm crying is because I don't even think I'm prepared for it. And that's the straight up truth. The Bible says when the Son of Man comes, you need to pray that you're able to stand. Do you know that there's prophets like Elijah and Enoch? And there's a couple other ones that I just can't remember them. When they saw the Lord, they just fell down to the ground and put their head right down onto the ground. There's something about Jesus Christ, that power, the light. You know how you turn on a light and, okay, I've never had roaches and I've never lived in an apartment full of roaches. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. But I had a friend when I was like 23 or 24, and we went to her house, and there were roaches there were roaches all over the counter, all over the floor. And right when we walked in to the kitchen, like you saw them for 2 seconds and then they were gone. It's kind of like that. What's that, Snapchat? You get to pick how long you want people to see this stuff. And the only reason I know about Snapchat is because there was this documentary about people posting like the weirdest things on Snapchat. Actually, this documentary wasn't geared for my Christian mentality, and about 15-20 minutes through the documentary I had to turn it off because they started being vulgar, you know what I mean? And I just, as you know, my heart, it was like, you know what, if I sit and watch this, I'm guilty because that's saying I enjoy this. And it was totally a perverted documentary. And so anyways, it just wasn't for me. I really feel bad for women and for girls that do that sexting stuff and they feel like they have to show all their body parts and to get attention. I mean, you guys, this world, I know, it just robs us of our innocence. It's a complete lie. It's a complete delusion. And you know, the solution is Jesus Christ. And I just want to encourage you guys that Jesus' second coming it's imminent, which means it's in a minute. And I just wanted to do this video and encourage you guys because it's hard. It's hard being a Christian in these days because pretty soon we're going to be targets. We're already targets, but when the bad things start happening, they're going to be blaming us. So just be strong and get firmer in the faith. And what time is it? Oh, I guess I better go. I love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Bye.